There are many service providers out there, but we're sure you want a good one with professional touch. We have it.
In this video, we're going to talk about what is digital marketing and how you should use it.
Okay, I've been working like 3 jobs. Probably why I never see ya. Probably why I never have time for the fake friends that won't be ya. Been bottom, but it's looking like they took a time out. Okay, I'm working on a Wednesday, then up again the next day. So-and-so is popping, man. I skip him like he leg day.
So the short answer of what is digital marketing is something that you just can't hold in your hands. So the digital marketing refers to things that will be on the internet, on the web, through your email, things like that, advertising. Let's first back up and compare it to the traditional standpoint. Now, whether you're in B2B or B2C, the specific tactics are going to be different when you talk about digital versus traditional, but regardless, traditional marketing is going to be direct mail, it's going to be publications in magazines that do a print format, it's going to be things that you can physically hold, leaving brochures, brand collateral, things like that. That's going to be the traditional marketing standpoint. Now the issue with that, when you compare digital versus traditional, is that traditional marketing, you don't necessarily have as much quantifiable data. And what do I mean by that? You say you send out 1,000 mailers, or you mail out 1,000 of your brochures or things like that. You know maybe that they were delivered, but you don't know if somebody actually read it or if somebody threw it away. Whether it's a postcard or some type of small little brochure that you're sending to people, and even if it's strategic and you're sending, you know you're sending it to the right people, you don't know if they opened it. Same thing with magazines. We've worked with a lot of companies that they still do print publications, and the print companies and the magazine companies are going to say, we've got 60,000 reach, we've got 500,000 people that we reach with this printed magazine. And usually they do an online digital version, but they'll try and sell you for that space to where you have an ad in a page or an entire article. And that's great. Maybe it does go to 60,000 people, and maybe you even ask them who those people are, and you say, yep, that's my target demographic. Those are readers that I want to engage with. Those are people that I can sell my product or service to. But at the end of the day, you don't know if they actually read it. Go back to that print publication company and ask them, how many people read my article in the magazine? How many people saw my ad? They're just going to tell you that their average number of people that see it is this many people are subscribed, this is how many times they print, whatever, but then how many people actually read it, they're not going to give you that data. Additionally, with the traditional standpoint of those magazines that are doing a print online publication version of it, you're going to say how many people viewed it, they're not going to give you that data. They're not going to be able to tell you this is how many people specifically clicked to this page of the magazine, because usually it's some sort of flip box set up to where you can swipe through or click a button and then the page turns, and that interactive coolness loses traceability because you're not going to get that. So people are charging thousands of dollars for that space, and you don't have quantifiable data. You can then track it in the back end and say, when somebody calls or something like that, hey, how did you hear about us? I read about you in this article or in this magazine. Yes, but that's like a one-off, not something that's repeatable or automated. You have to ask the question, you have to rely on a physical human to ask that question, to remember to ask it, to then document it, to then pull that data in. So it's just not as controlled, automated, or effective. And when you go into trade show space, they're going to try and sell you a brochure or an ad in the program guide, or an ad in a book, or things like that. The program guide at a trade show, maybe it is effective for the cover or the first page, but they're going to try and charge you thousands of dollars to have an ad inside of that, which maybe you have the budget to spend thousands of dollars and not know if that really worked, but there's no data coming back. They can say there was 4,000 people or 40,000 people or 500,000 people that came to the show and they all got a copy of it. Cool. But that doesn't mean that they all read it, because it's usually a 20 to 50 page book and you're just a small little space of it. So you have to really think about that when you're comparing the digital versus traditional standpoint. You can't get quantifiable data. You can't get the KPIs and the ROI back on that piece of advertising or marketing spend. On direct mail, you can kind of do it to where you can just say, you send out these postcards, you send out some direct mail, this is how many you sent, this is what the cost was behind it, but you're not going to be able to, you'd have to put some sort of, type in this code, go to our website and type in this code. There you go, going back to digital. So the traditional way of doing it, it's lost its effectiveness for a lot of markets. In some markets it's okay, If you're doing B2C and you're trying to go to residential, sometimes those postcards work. Sometimes it's worth the money to do that. But if you're in B2B, it's going to be less effective. There's other tactics you can do. So looking at the digital standpoint, now we know that digital is something that's out there online through computers, phones, things like that. Traditional is something you can hold in your hands. Now that we've got those cleared up, let's look at the digital marketing and how you can use it. So you're going to want to focus on the website, which is where somebody's going to go to. It's going to encompass email marketing, so doing newsletter signups to doing cold email marketing, blasts, and we've got videos that we can link in the description below about email marketing in 2019, what works with the templates and effectiveness. You're going to be looking at social media, so which social media is a fit for you. Digital marketing is going to be more effective than it would be from a traditional standpoint. Using social in the space that your target demographic is paying attention to, B2B will be LinkedIn, maybe some retargeting for B2B on Facebook. And then from a B2C standpoint, it's going to be more focused on Facebook, Instagram, those, even with paid ads and social advertising, those platforms are going to be more effective. But from a digital standpoint overall, it's basically just anything that's online that you can't physically hold, that's not tangible, which is why a lot of companies, whether you're large or small, have a hard time spending money on something that's not physically tangible. You can spend thousands of dollars on a magazine ad or in a print publication because that's what you're used to doing. And you have done that for years, and that's what everybody used to do. But then this new thing, digital, comes along decades ago, and you're like, I don't know if is this really going to work? I don't know if this is going to be effective, but your old way isn't really working and you can't quantify it. So you're kind of skeptical about the digital standpoint, and a lot of times it's because you can't physically hold something in your hands. You just see it, and you don't know where that goes or if it even gets seen. But a good marketing agency will be able to say, this is what we did, this is how many eyes were on it, here's how many people clicked, here's the actions, here's the traffic that went to your site, and tie all those things together, which is where digital marketing gives you that quantifiable data, and it gives you traceability from the moment you start something all the way through the campaign into the end to see what were the results, and they're measurable. You can see how many people viewed it, clicked it, engaged, and converted. And that's really the big difference between what is digital and traditional, and that's really where you should focus on digital marketing to have that quantifiable data. Again, whether you're big or small, you want to look at every single dollar, whether your budget's $100 a month or $100,000 a month, you need to look at every single data point and every dollar that's spent, and you need to be able to quantify that back to the creative and the campaign and hold people accountable for what they're actually doing, so that way you're not paying for something that you're not getting in the end. So if you guys like this content, hit that like button. If you have questions about digital marketing, leave them in the comments below, and we will see you on the next one.
So what are you waiting for? Take action now and enjoy your friends' compliments.